AIM-listed Smarttech247 is a provider of AI-enhanced cybersecurity services. It's only recently listed here on the AIM market, so it's been finding its feet as a listed company. It's also just released first half results, which come in with an impressive 19.4% rise in revenues and EBITDA up 59.7% year over year. With more on that and more on the company, what it's doing, and indeed how it's finding life as a listed company. I'm talking now to Raluca Saceanu, the Chief Executive of the business. Raluca, welcome. It's a pleasure to be able to catch up with you. We're all talking about artificial intelligence at the moment. I want to get onto that side of it in just a moment. I want to find out more about what it is you're trying to do here as a company and the sort of services you're providing and the business model that you're working to.
It's a pleasure to be here. Smarttech247 is a cybersecurity organization that secures some of the world's largest companies. We have a product called VisionX, which is our MDR, Managed Detection and Response platform. And through VisionX, we provide the next generation security capabilities that include monitoring, threat and vulnerability management, threat intelligence, cybersecurity validation, dynamic risk governance, and so forth. And we are a trusted provider. We are renowned for our extensive experience, but also our proactive approach and innovation. And if I were to summarize our mission, it would be that we help organizations address three key problems that everybody has heard of related to this industry. And these are the evolving threat landscape. As we know, cyber threats are becoming more and more sophisticated, more frequent as well. So it's really difficult for traditional security solutions to keep up. Number two is the massive skills gap that we have in the industry and the fact that security teams are often understaffed and overworked. And lastly, the complexity around security operations, the large number of security tools, the fragmented cybersecurity market, and the fact that our own organization needs to manage a large number of tools on average.
What's your background and how have you come to this point in your career leading up this company, which looks exciting? As I said, you're producing some good numbers. What's your background?
I've been with the company for almost 10 years, started back in 2014. And I started in a marketing role. However, over the years, I've taken on more and more responsibilities. And I then took on a director of strategy role and then became the company's chief operating officer. And in the past 16 months, I've served as CEO.
Yeah, so you've gone through this period where the markets are now talking about AI almost as an everyday subject. So you've had to ramp up this new sort of level of experience. Presumably you've got a whole team of developers behind you and you're providing what, your own proprietary software, which you then presumably sell on. Is it all proprietary or do you use other companies' software to help?
The majority of our solution capability is all proprietary technology. As I mentioned earlier, we have our own platform called VisionX. Yeah. VisionX allows organizations to reduce the complexity that is associated with other security tools. So in a typical organization, you would see anywhere from 20 to even 200 security tools. What VisionX does is it sits on top of all of these tools. It reduces the complexity and it allows us to give our customers the monitoring, the prevention, and the response capability that they need in order to stay ahead of the threat. So to a large extent, VisionX is key to delivering this capability. However, customers do use other security tools as part of their overall stack. And together we form a comprehensive cybersecurity capability for them.
And who you're engaging with? Are you engaged with corporates, governments, local authorities, individuals? What's your where do the sales go?
So at Smarttech247, we secure some of the world's largest organizations, and these are across all industries. You're looking at financial, healthcare, pharmaceutical, government, manufacturing, technology, automotive, and so forth. And Our clients, our biggest clients are large multinationals, Fortune 500, Fortune 120 companies, even global research organizations that are creating some amazing innovation in the area of medicine, particularly cancer research. And our clients are based all over the world. You're looking at North America, Asia, Europe, and so forth. And to give you an example, our largest customer is a global car technology manufacturer with over 200,000 employees.
Do you release names of clients so we can get an idea of the sort of companies we're talking about, or is this a closely guarded secret kept within the confines of the company?
Sometimes it has to be a secret. As you know,
Yeah,
cybersecurity as an industry is quite complex.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of clients that decide to go public when it comes to, for example, offering a reference for us and talking about the way we help them. I can give you a few examples of public tenders that we've won, and also customers that have provided a reference. For example, the Institute of Cancer Research in the UK is a public tender that we won. We also have customers in the financial sector, such as Cluntech, a conglomerate of financial organizations, FPD Insurance, Leah Healthcare, who are part of AIG Group, and so forth.
Yeah, as you say, some big names. Look, I talked about the first half numbers you came through with some pretty hefty increases year over year. You've got €7 million on the of cash on the balance sheet. What is your plan from here on in? Do you grow organically or do you grow by acquisition? I guess it's all part of that question as to what you're going to use the €7 million for.
Well, our goal is to increase, obviously, the number of our global clients. We want to grow organically as well via direct marketing and sales. And we also want to grow the company by engaging with strategic partners across different sectors. Partnerships are quite important to us, and we are constantly exploring opportunities to expand our ecosystem and deliver our integrated solutions. But we also want to grow through M&A. So we are planning to use our cash for acquisitions as well.
Yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the recent contract wins, because I know you've had one really recently that you wanted to talk about, and explain more about what that brings to the company. I want to talk about the share price in just a minute, but let's talk a little bit more about the recent contractual wins.
We've recently signed a 3-year order for a significant cybersecurity tool that provides intelligence and prevention capabilities as well for one of our largest customers. Over the 3 years, this deal is worth over $3 million.
Okay, well, let's look at that, as I said, in the context of the share price and what you've told us about your plans in the future. This is, of course, we don't go back very far. Of course, you've not been long listed on the business, but you can see that the initial interest in the stock took it up all the way up to 36 pence. Here we are now at 32 pence. What do you say to people that are looking at this interview thinking they want to get into cybersecurity, they want to get into AI, and how you are positioning yourself for an opportunity here for investors to get in at this level? Do you see much upside to the share price, for example?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a good financial year so far. As you mentioned, our share price has been positively stable since we listed. It's grown since December 2022. And I think the market's reaction to our performance has been quite good. We've had notable contract wins and through strong growth plans. We anticipate to have a further increase in our revenue streams and improve financial performance, which will, of course, drive the appreciation of our company's share price. We also plan to invest quite a lot in research and development to create even more innovative products. The cybersecurity threat landscape, as I mentioned in the beginning, is expanding quite a lot and quite fast, especially now with the artificial intelligence adoption by cyber criminals. So it's important for us as an organization to keep innovating as well. And what I would say is that we have ambitious plans for our innovation, for our growth, and we plan to release more security products.
And just to confirm, you see yourself as a growth stock, presumably, as opposed to a stock that rewards investors along the way with income. I see no evidence of any dividend. Is that correct?
Well, we want to grow organically. We have a long-term strategy. This industry is growing quite a lot, so the financial projections are really positive. We also want to acquire more companies. So, as an organization, we have ambitious plans to grow the company, grow our portfolio, and grow our revenues.
Yeah, you mentioned the speed at which we're now seeing the growth of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and you talk a lot about wanting to acquire. Do you have to fend off approaches to Smarttech247 from other companies wanting to buy the business? Because clearly you've got, as you said, a unique product, a product that you can sell. You're obviously levering it out over a number of different organizations quite successfully with this sort of growth. Are you getting companies come to your door saying we want to buy you?
We actually are quite often. However, it is not part of our strategy, and we are looking to grow the business ourselves organically. And as I mentioned, our plans are long-term plans, and we're an attractive company, and we've had really good, strong financial growth over the years. So it makes sense for us to receive such offers.
We have a lot of questions coming through from IG clients about the landscape for international attacks on cybersecurity. What would you say where the biggest threat comes from and what that threat is centered on?
Well, I think when you're talking about the biggest threat, it's inevitable not to talk about Russia. And when you look at Russia's power in the cyberspace, you talk about nation-state sponsored attacks. Unfortunately, Russia's constant attack on Ukraine has spilled over into the cyberspace. And what we have to remember is that Russia has always been one of the most capable cyber powers in the world. You look at the Conti ransomware group, for example, the one that attacked our health system in Ireland last year. That was a state-sponsored group. It was a state-sponsored attack, and they've been very vocal about their intent to cause cyber harm. And the two things that we have to remember when it comes to sponsored attacks and why they are so dangerous are, number one, their motivation is quite high and their resources are quite extensive. So what that means is the tools that are crafted to launch these attacks that are being sponsored by Russia or North Korea, these are some of the best tools out there. And the common denominator of all sponsored attacks is the fact that they all exploit publicly known vulnerabilities. Most of the times, they're not even zero-day vulnerabilities. The problem then is that these tools and these techniques that are used for such attacks end up on the commercial dark web. So that means that everybody can use them. That has a massive impact on the overall cyber criminal system. And right now, the situation from a cybersecurity perspective hasn't improved. Putin has accused the US that they're planning to launch cyber attacks on Russia. We don't know if that's going to happen, but if that's true, what this means is that Russia is most likely going to plan attacks on the US critical infrastructure in order to, even send the message. But it's not only just the US or the Ukraine that are victims of Russia's cyber attacks. Norway, for example, as Europe's largest gas supplier, is a target. And we've already seen a couple of cyber attacks targeting Norway a few days ago. We've also seen ideologically motivated groups that have begun to target the UK this year, and many more examples. And unfortunately, when this happens, everyone is impacted, from the critical infrastructure organizations like healthcare organizations to even smaller companies.
So just as a follow-up on that, to talk a little bit about the solutions to this, do nation states go to commercial companies such as Smarttech247 to find a solution, or does a government have to ring-fence this as a completely almost sort of secretive, private way of combating nation threats? Or does the commercial world get involved? Where does the solution come from?
We have seen an increase in government agencies across Europe reaching out to cybersecurity organizations like us to support them in terms of implementing the best-of-breed solutions. We also secure a few government agencies in Ireland and in the UK from a critical infrastructure perspective. And especially after the attack on the NHS, for example, or the attack on the HSE, we have seen a lot more organizations reaching out to companies like us for support. Now, they have their own implementation of cybersecurity tools and capabilities. However, it's impossible to fight these attacks on your own. So most government agencies do decide to outsource to trusted partners, especially nowadays when such attacks are increasing.
Just wanted to follow up on one final question. As I said, you're listed on the London AIM market. You've got a market cap of just shy of 40 million. Just in simple, straightforward terms, where do you see this going over the next year? What are your ambitions in terms of the size of the business and how you see the opportunities growing?
In terms of the size of the business, we are hiring quite a lot at the moment. Just to give you a bit of perspective, since we listed, we grew the headcount of the company by 25%. Over the last few years, the growth has been a lot more significant, and we are hiring across all of our locations. We're looking to acquire companies in Australia, in North America, in Europe as well. So we are looking at a significant expansion, and we are seeing a lot of adoption of our own products. So we will increase our customer base across the globe.
Yeah, interesting story. Look, thanks indeed for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you, newly listed company on the AIM market. That's Raluca Saceanu, who's the chief executive of the company called Smarttech247.